So the green flag waves at the end of the pre-grid as we get ready for these drivers to go racing. So let's have a look at the grid for Heat B versus C Senior Rotax. Luca Lystra, Heat 1 winner, starts on pole position alongside will have Francis Paul Fokema, who won Heat 2 earlier on today. Lachlan Robinson, who managed to, I think, scrape through by the skin of his race suit after a 3-second time penalty in the first heat. Well, he managed to keep P3. He starts P3 this time. Can he gun for the lead? And maybe for a victory this time around. Danny Prince joins him on row 2 alongside, well, behind them will be Artur Horsch and Alexander Vermeulen. Vermeulen will not want to have a front-fairing penalty like he did earlier on today. And starts P6. Sam Bergstein and Baz Janssen round out the top 4 rows, with Nick Cubbins and Switzerland's Mario Sidler rounding out the top 10. Christian de Klein in the 399, Jordi van der Eyck in the 390, Gilles Clouet in the 315, Scott Westhovens in the 330. Kevin Kremers in the 335, Kobe de Bruyker in the 389, Lars minutes plus an additional lap for these drivers. So a pretty good battle between Butcher and LaHaye in the previous race. Well, this now means that we get towards the business end of proceedings, and it will be down to Lystra and Fokema to control the pace. Fokema running on the Steady Kart chassis, and Lystra running on Tony Karts at the front of the field. So, who's your bets on for the 4th Senior Rotax Heat out of 6 here? Well, we're going to wait, see, and find out when the lights go out. So, start weaving now. Have to get into formation rather quickly. We did see a full start on the previous heat, but this looks to be rather neat and orderly. We go into the tram lines, the revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Looks like we've gotten away nice and clean. No, we haven't. Second full start in a row. I spoke too soon there. Oh my goodness me. Full start. So again, it's going to be rather interesting how this all pans out, because they now need to get themselves back into formation. So Robinson will have to let Paul Fokema get past, which is what should now happen very, very soon. So we get into the latter stages of the formation lap. Robinson would have had a really good start. I think, well, he ended up ahead of Fokema in terms of where the start phase was. So now Fokema will have to go alongside. So they're being told to slow down. They're going to start getting into position rather quickly. So Fokema now, as does Danny Prince. So they both line up alongside Luca Lystra and Lachlan Robinson respectively. Through the chicane we go once again. Let's control out, delete, reset, revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Looks like a better start this time. And we are lights out and off and away. And Fokema gets jumped by Robinson going through into turn 1, but the Frenchman up the inside once again on the 316. And Danny Prince looks to go up the inside, but Robinson gets rather aggressive. And you know what's coming here. The likes of Artur Horsch is going to factor in, and he's tried to go side by side a little bit further back. Fokema past Robinson now for P3. Well, for P2. So Robinson second in his first heat, third currently at the moment, as Sam Bergstein makes his way up a little bit further up the order. So Danny Prince and Artur Horsch in the thick of things, but Luca Lystra starting to stride away early as they come through the final right-hander. A couple of right-handers into the chicane, and through they go. So Luca Lystra leads after the first lap of asking. Or Fokema, Lachlan Robinson to the top 3 as you were. Alexander Vermeulen up into 4th place already. He's managed to get his way up past the likes of Artur Horsch, Sam Bergstein, Baz Janssen, Danny Prince, 4th, down into 11th position as the top 3 start to Constantina. Alexander Vermeulen could factor in very, very early. Lachlan Robinson I'm just going to remind you of this fact with this driver. This is his first time racing at the circuit. So he's been on a very steep learning curve over the past season and a half, and he's started to soak up all that knowledge like a sponge. And Fokkerman knows that Robinson's trying to chase him down. Vermeulen and Arthur Horsch, they're very quick pedalers in their own right. Adrien Labuda drops down from 16th to 19th as we come round and look at the train starting to filter in at the front end of the field, and that's going to be the top 6 alone. So Robinson needs to get a good run on Fokkerman to get past for P2. Won't do it through turn 1. And a nice little bit of a descent here can also help carry your momentum. Got to turn it in nice and neatly. Tight on the apex, allow the cart to drift wide before you come through into turn 3. Neater from Robinson in comparison with Fokkerman, but Fokkerman gets a good drive out of turn 3. And Vermeulen is trying to close, and Vermeulen is actually the fastest out there. He's put in the fastest lap of the race of 56.140. Lystra looking to make it 2 for 2. Robinson really on the back bumper and trying to hustle along. Fokkerman giving the French driver a bit of the old hurry-up tactic right there, and trying to see if there is an unforced error. But Fokkerman, very well accomplished in his own right, will know how to also play that game. So Arthur Horsch rounding out the top 5, and Arthur Horsch looks to be wearing his Team France overalls there. So Arthur Horsch definitely making sure that he flies the French tricolore nice and proudly, as he always does here. It's getting rather close between the top 6. Top 6 were covered by 1.2 seconds. This looks to be the closest senior Rotax race so far this weekend. And there is a battle a little bit further behind. There's Christian de Klein in 10th, who's behind the likes of Jordi van der Eyck and also Mario Siedler. With them looks to be Slang and Karting's Scott Westhovens. So good to see him fighting a little bit further up than we have seen him in meetings past for Scott Westhovens, but it's looking to be rather close up and down the field. There are battles everywhere here in senior Rotax, and when you have 36 senior Rotax drivers going into battle, that's even more difficult to keep a track of. I can tell you that much right now, as there was a little look as bit of a disaster for Kobe de Bruyker, all the way down into 20th position goes the 389 from Belgium. But this battle here really heating up. And de Klein and Westhovens looking to get one past Siedler and van der Eyck. And van der Eyck in 8th position. Nick Cuppens is a little bit further up the road. The 374 from Dams Racing representing Belgium. Belgium is about 0.7 ahead of this battle. So we head into the last 2.5 minutes. And at the moment, well, let me tell you this, it's now become top 7 for the race victory. Lystra leading by about 4/10 ahead of Paul Fokkerman. Lachlan Robinson rounding out the top 3. Robinson doing a good job just holding station. And the thing is that you don't need to go all... If you have a heat situation like we have here today, that's a nice little move there from Lars Zanen, I believe, up the inside of Sam Bergstein to take 15th going through turn 1. So that was a good move from the 397. And we do see Lars Zanen a little bit higher up the order. He takes he's just done the old... I've never seen that from a kart driver. I've seen it when they've done the old tap and done the old think gesture. But Lars Zanen has just had the absolute audacity to turn around to Sam Bergstein and say, hey, come on, think. Let's just go after the guys in front, shall we? We've got a little bit of gap to make up because Kevin Kramer is a little bit further up the road than Lars Zanen would probably want to have. So we're into the last 90 seconds of this race. And Lars Zanen again takes another look over the right-hand shoulder. And this is what is happening at the front now. Baz Janssen coming under fire now from Nick Cuppens as Mario Siedler and Christian de Klein get past Jordi van der Eyck, who drops from 8th to 10th at the snap of her fingers. And here's Alexander Vermeulen closing in on Lachlan Robinson for P3. Robinson very, very wise to that and knew that Vermeulen was trying to put the frighteners on him. Robinson made of sterner stuff. Fokkerman still rounding out the top 2, but Robinson trying to do his level best. When he gets the last lap board, he's going to have that effective hurry up sign, so he might want to make an opportunity. But I think, you know, okay, racers are going to go for it. No matter what you say, no matter how you call it, racers will always want to make that position. Now, Robinson, you know, getting himself third, you know, third in Group B in qualifying, getting himself into Group B in the heat side of things, that's really put him in a very good position. But at the moment, Lystra is looking to be the more handier out of the three that were coming into this round. No Bradshaw, no Kimber. There's the move there. And that was Buzz Janssen up the inside of Artur Horsch. And here comes Nick Cuppens. And Horsch looking to try and get past. But he's the meat in the sandwich here. But Artur Horsch reasserts himself, gets through up the inside. Nick Cuppens all tangles with Buzz Janssen. Oh my goodness. And that opens the door from the 374. Timer strike 0. And at the minute, Luca Lystra on course for winning 2 for 2 out of his heats. And he'll be on pole for his final one later on today. But we go on to the final lap. Nick Cuppens now closing in on Artur Horsch. That's the battle for what is going to be 5th position at the end of the proceedings of this fourth race out of 6 for Senior Rotax. It's a heat stage. Top 36 go through to the pre-final and the final tomorrow. So we will have to say bye-bye to 3 drivers as Artur Horsch leaves the door open going through turn 3. Oh, and there's a little bit of a touch between the pair of them into 4. And like a rat up a drain pipe, all of a sudden Buzz Janssen says to Nick Cuppens, thank you very much indeed. That's allowed Mario Sidler to possibly get past. No, he hasn't. Nick Cuppens managed to hold on to that place, but Artur Horsch was the lucky one. He escaped by the skin of his teeth. But we're on the final lap of the race, and it is 2 for 2. Luca Lystra starting from pole position for this one. He has remained relatively unchallenged, and he takes the victory. Paul Fokiemin second by about 7/10 as they all start filtering their way across the line. And there were a few drag races there as well. Mario Sidler just 30 thousandths behind Nick Cuppens, who rounds out the top 7. Lachlan Robinson with another solid top 3. Second in his first heat, third in this one, and was 0.290 behind Paul Fokiemin. Jordi van der Eyck rounds out the top 10. So let's have a look at the results of Senior Rotax Heat 4, Groups B versus C. Luca Lystra takes the victory by 7/10 of a second, ahead of Paul Fokiemin from France. Lachlan Robinson rounds out the top 3 ahead of Alexander Vermeulen, with Artur Horsch, Buzz Janssen, Nick Cuppens, Mario Sidler and Christian de Klein, with Jordi van der Eyck running out the top 10. Good result for Scott Westhoven's 11th place ahead of Danny Prince, who started P4, ended up 12th. Kevin Kremers, Sam Bergstein, Laura Zanen, Gilles Chloé, Adrien Labuda, Tern Schmidt, Jenthe van Malderen and Kobe de Bruyke rounding out the 20 strong on that one.